It's not often that we have the top leadership of the tourism industry here in LA. So we wanted to invite all of you to hear directly from them what is happening in Israel tourism.
So today in Israel, despite the fact that the Middle East is going in its own direction, Israel is in a very different place. It's been quiet for almost a decade, secure. You'll hear today about records of tourism that shatter every month. We're nearing 4 million tourists a year. We should be much higher than that, but we're much higher than we've ever been. I think more and more Americans are becoming aware of what it means to visit Israel, spiritually, personally, culturally, and certainly in terms of tourism. State of California, the CSU system just reopened the 23 campuses for study abroad in Israel. That's 500,000 potential students that are now looking at Israel. We just had a conference with all of the 23 campuses about how should they market to their students, study abroad in Haifa and then in other universities in Israel. So the story is very, very good. Israel today is experiencing a global, a golden age of innovation, of creativity. Anything you've heard about Tel Aviv, it's winning prizes as the top beach, the top city, in all sorts of magazines and travel destinations, whether it's Christian tourism, other forms of tourism, and it's a very, very exciting time in Israel. So you will hear more about this today, and I think anyone that goes, you'll see, you'll never be the same. People are deeply touched by Israel, no matter what religion you are. You could be Jewish, you could be Christian, you could be secular, but there's something about the Holy Land that truly makes a difference for every tourist, no matter who you are or what your outlook is.
In the last 2 years, the number of tourists to Israel broke the record between 3.4, 3.5 million of tourists arrived to Israel in the years 2010 and 2011. And this year we are going to break the new record with around 3.8 million tourists. Right now, something like 50,000 today, something like 50,000 tourists now in Israel. Maybe for you the number is looking low, but you have to remember that the size of Israel is only 22,000 square kilometers. It's like the size of New Jersey. So Israel, it's a very small country, but Israel has a lot of attraction. And you will see part of them now. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, but it's now, in this time, it's an island of stability in the area. It's very important to know that because the Arab Spring has had some limited negative effect on incoming tourism to Israel, since some of the traffic to Israel is based in two packages that combine Israel and Jordan, Israel and Egypt. But all the tour to Israel, only to Israel, rose. Nevertheless, the number of incoming tourists to Israel was stable in 2011 and has increased in 10% in this year. If you think about the hotels in Israel, you know, because of the increase of the number of tourists, we are now around 16 new hotel rooms are being built in this time in Israel. Most of the new rooms in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Nazareth, and around the Sea of Galilee. And we are planning a new resort in the Dead Sea. The hotels that are being built now in various categories, like international hotel chain, are being built now, like Waldorf Astoria is going to be open in April in Jerusalem, near the old city, in Mamilla. The Ritz-Carlton in Herzliya, just 10 minutes north from Tel Aviv, on the beach north to Tel Aviv. Kempinski Hotel is going to be open in Tel Aviv, and many small boutique hotels are building also. This is this phenomenon that many boutique hotels are being built just right now, and this is one of the new trends in Israel. The ministry also allocates grants to investors to build new hotel rooms in Israel. The government gives 20% grant from the cost of building new hotels in Jerusalem and Tiberias. Tiberias, it's the capital of the area of the Sea of Galilee, and we give a 20% grant in the Galil and the Negev. And the Ministry of Tourism, the government, also give 10% grants for investors to build a tourist attraction in Israel.
Still, our number one market is the US, with over 600,000 coming annually to Israel. Additional 70,000 from Canada, altogether just over 700,000 from North America. Yet, our main growth in the last 6 years came from Russia, the Ukraine, Poland, and actually now we are seeing some growth from Brazil, India as well, developing countries that are actually really discovering tourism, if you may, and have greater availability as far as free time and free money is concerned, and we see it. One of our additional bottlenecks, and the Director General described the issue of hotel rooms, which is a bottleneck, by the way. Today, the demand is bigger than the supply. We need to increase the supply, the availabilities, which will also create better prices as well, but certainly a much bigger variety as far as the hotel rooms. And I'm talking about the flights. We have now over 70 airliners that are flying into Israel. 4 of them out of the US, of course, El Al, Continental, United, which are together today, Delta and US Air. But we are pushing all of those companies, actually, including additional companies, if possible, to fly to Israel because it's not enough. Israel is so small, is very small on one end, as you heard before, but extremely dense with things to do, things to see, and experience. I would say that actually a visit to Israel is an experience. First of all, for different reasons, and you don't have to be necessarily, by the way, a believer of any religion to feel the spiritual uplift when you're stepping upon this piece of land, which literally every step that you take, you come and you walk upon a piece of history. Up to the point that actually sometimes it even deters the possibility of new developments because you are digging for a foundation for a building and you come across some ruins from the times of Canaan or the times of this time or that time, and then there's starting a debate between the religious people and the developers and the archaeological and so on and so forth. But this is what I call rich man's problems at the end of the day, and this is what makes it extremely fascinating. And people who are coming to visit Israel for the first time, I would say that a lot of walls of misperceptions are falling down. This is actually our main goal, is to bring a person for the first time to Israel. Because only then they realize that it's completely safe, and we know it not only from surveys and from direct approach, that they feel and they state upon themselves that the majority of the people actually state that they felt in Israel much safer than their own towns, usually. And this, I'm not inventing it, it's they that said it. Second is the modernization of the country. Third, how easy is it to get along? Language-wise, science, if you are taking a car as an FIT travelers, and so on. How accessible and very close in proximity everything is to one another. Actually, a drive from Tel Aviv up, literally up, spiritually and geographically to Jerusalem, completely two different worlds and only 40 minutes apart. It's extremely important to understand it because for a traveler, it does not, he or she, waste time traveling, planing, deplaning, training, detraining, and so on. You simply have a net visit into Israel. Jerusalem as the crown jewel, of course. Tel Aviv, which is a completely different story, is a more upbeat type of city that never sleeps, as we call it. The Galilee, with its tranquility as well, the Negev desert, and so on. We wanted to emphasize here just a few kind of new appetizers, I will call it. For example, a new hotel on the edge of the Ramon crater, which is the biggest crater in the world, in the middle of the Negev desert. Only 2 hours south driving time, not by plane, from Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, overlooking this wonderful crater, and you can see this great facility, which really appeals for incoming tourism and Israelis as well. That's another angle from this Ramon crater, and it's really built on the edge in such a way that it did not disturb the surroundings and the topography. The Gospel Trail, basically the same route that Jesus took from Nazareth down to Tapcha and Capernaum on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, which is 62 kilometers hike, overlooking this magnificent, still biblical, inspirational landscapes, with a unique, marked trail today, which you can do it all at once. You can do it in a modularic way. You can choose only to walk 2 or 3 kilometers or 1 kilometer just to feel the atmosphere. You can do it by bikes. You can do it by foot. And this is a product, a theme. Another thing, for example, on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, there's a light show, by the way, with different themes as well. Qasr el-Yahoud, which is near Jericho, this is believed to be the original baptismal site when John the Baptist actually baptized Jesus on the way from the Galilee to Jerusalem. This is, on the other end, an example of a boutique hotel, which became really a trend all over Israel, by the way. Acre itself, the old city, again, a very unique city that you can enjoy both history, beach, today's market on one end, and beneath the ground type of Acre from the times, different layers, but especially it is known to be from the times of the Crusaders. City of David, just south from the Wailing Wall of today, from the Temple Mount of today, which was actually the original from the time of David, which allows you today to walk underground all the way to the Wailing Wall area. And this is actually an ancient seal that was found in the city of David just lately, a few weeks ago, that actually gave a stamp, if you may, to the fact that the city of Bethlehem existed already at that time.
We hope that till the end of the year, we will achieve the goal of having only from United States 700,000, and if we'll add to it Canada, we probably will be around 800,000 from North America. And it's good numbers, and talking in that, if we're going to translate it to the economy of Israel, I want you to remember that every 100,000 visitors in Israel, tourists, creating 4,000 jobs. So see what it does to the economy of Israel. So the main goal of the IMOT in North America is to increase the numbers of visitors to Israel, focusing on the Christian market. And actually, between 65% to 70% of our activities here in North America, it's in the Christian market. Or the evangelical, or the Catholic, of course, the Latino market, and we are very engaged with those communities all over North America. What's the strategy? How we do it? Because we have a big challenge. We get every platform that we can get. We are there in the local events. We are there on bigger North American events. And we're trying to utilize our people that are working in the field to be in every event that we can and convey the message how important it is to visit Israel, how important it is for the evangelical communities to come to the promised land, to come to the land of the Bible. And as you know, the Bible is the best GPS. So when you are in Israel, actually, when you stand there, the stories comes alive. And the Bible, from black and white, come actually to be H&D. Colorful, very colorful there. And always our problem and our challenge, and Oren touched it, is to bring the first visitor because of all this misconception about Israel, the lack of information about Israel, and sometimes you hear from American tourists, the transportation in Israel is not a camel. No, it's not a camel. It's the state-of-art transportation, the state of art. So one of the general ads that we are doing is marketing, of course, the Dead Sea area, but as you see, it's a young couple, a bright couple that attract many people to go and visit Israel. Well, the Ramon crater, this is from a different angle, an ad that shows the Negev, the desert. This is the hotel that Oren talked about it, but it's from a different angle. And as we say, there is a little bit of Israel in all of us. Come find the Israel in you. That's the slogan for the general market. For the general market, also, we know that we have family, bar mitzvah, that are coming to Israel, and you see a young couple sitting on the shore of the Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee, and of course the beautiful children playing. So what it means, it's a family destination, it's a friendly destination, and it's very safe. There is a lot of think about it, what's going on in your mind when you make a decision why to go and why to choose, and you're looking for the reason. So I think that we actually convey the best reason why to visit Israel. Of course, we have the Catholic campaign because we have also the Christian world. And what we say, when you visit Israel, you'll never be the same. If I take a Jewish, Christian, or Muslim that visiting Israel, if you ask him after the first time when he returned back, he will say, I'll never be the same. Something happened in my heart, something happened in my head, and it changed my views regarding Israel.